Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Insta, and good morning, Facebook. Going live on both platforms, and I've got a pretty cool MacGyver-looking setup again this morning, so I'll have to send you a photo. If anybody has those spy belt things for running, they're really good. Who have we got online here? I've got my spy belt taped around the computer this morning. Hello, Sid. Hello, Jonesy. Hello, Carly. Yes, Carly's here. Carly, I just need somebody to talk to, really. I'm basically going live because I'm going insane in isolation. So talk to me, Carly. Talk to me. Tell me what's happening in your world. Hey, Sid. Sid, where are you from? All right. Before you guys jumped on, I was just explaining my MacGyver setup again. I'm trying, instead of using a tripod, I'm trying to use my running spy belt on the computer, but I definitely need a better solution for this moving forwards, but it's all good. South Carolina, wow. Well done for jumping on. All right, so today I was going to, self-absorbently just talk to people online because I'm starting to go a bit cray-cray at home, let's be honest. Hands up if you're going a bit cray-cray. No, I definitely am. Need to get out more, need to talk to more people. It's an interesting time. But I wanted to talk to you about the benefits of having a plan and why you need a plan when it comes to food. And I guess it's one of the big things that I see with clients is that a lot of them just come to see me because they want a meal plan. You know, most people want a meal plan, whether they actually want a meal plan or not. But I think as humans, we crave routine or thrive on routine. And like a lot of us like having a plan to follow, whether it's training, whether it's food, exercise, whatever it is. I think we all work better when we've got something to follow and something that we haven't had to design ourselves, I think is the other thing. Hello, everyone jumping on. Now people, what did you say, Carly? Now people always ask if they will be attending the meetings each day. Clearly they are way more exciting than me. Wind's blowing, it's going to knock over my light. Hello, Tara. All right. So I'm going to send you a photo of my MacGyver setup. It's not as good as last night's MacGyver setup on my live, but this one's still pretty good. All right, so yeah, having a plan and why having a plan is so important. And I think unless you're like really self-motivated and you can write a plan for yourself, like a lot of us, like that's why gyms exist, right? And classes exist because you've got to turn up somewhere at a certain time to be able to go there and do it. And that drives us and motivates us way more than if we had to like pick a time to do things ourselves. So hands up who's not exercising as much or as regularly currently, because you've got to decide when that is for yourself and then be motivated enough to get your ass out and do it. Like me losing the regularity of that sort of stuff, I've definitely noticed a decrease in my exercise because I'm used to having a structure and a plan to my week. So it's just about picking that stuff up quickly and then going and like recreating your own new schedule so that you still have a schedule to follow. You've still got a plan to follow. You've just kind of written it yourself. Now, if you suck at doing that, then get someone else to write it for you. Get like a friend that's got a background in personal training or even just anyone to write you a plan that's not you. And chances are you'll follow it way more closely than if you've done it yourself. Hello, Ariana. There's all these people on Insta, and I don't think there's anyone on Facebook. Where's Catherine when you need her? So Jonesy said, me for sure, 14 days of mandatory self-isolation ends on Friday. Well done. Oh, I definitely don't envy you. I'm kind of in self-isolation myself, but it's not mandatory. I haven't been overseas or anything. And I'm going like crazy. I posted a meme a couple of weeks ago about like, you guys need to check in on your extrovert friends because we're not okay. I'm in that boat. Like, this is not okay. Hello, Fitstop Ashgrove. Who have I got? Is it Kel jumping on? Or is it one of the boys? yeah, so I think having a plan is super, super important. Just having structure and routine is important. So I want to talk to you about why I think that's so important with food as well. And it's also more beneficial if, again, like exercise, somebody else is doing it for you, because you're more likely to follow it if somebody else is done it for you. And I guess also if you've got a bit of financial investment in it too, you're more likely to stick to something than if it was free. And so with my weekly menu planning, it's only $10 a week. And like that is nothing. It's a fraction of the cost that it takes for the time and the effort to get it up and running. But it's a tiny investment to help you stick to it because you've paid $10. So if you've paid any sort of money for it, no matter if it's like small or high, a small amount is enough to get you to stick to something. Oh, Billy, welcome, Billy. Hello. And Liz is on Facebook. Hey, Liz, welcome. So for those of you that are joining us, we're talking about why I think it's so important to have a plan. Like when we're talking about planning exercise, but it's also super important to have a plan with food. And also I think it's key to have somebody else do that for you because you're more likely to stick to it if you haven't done it yourself. So let's talk about what happens when you don't have a plan with food, like some of the things that happen. Hello, Feed Your Future, and hello, Rach. And hello, can't read that, Calamangle. Hello, everyone on Insta. I think, Liz, you're the only one on Facebook, but we've got a bunch of people on the Instas. It turns out everyone needs a bit of like chat. We need some social interaction, even if it's on Facebook Lives. All right, so let's talk about what happens when you don't have a plan. And this could be exercise, it could be anything. When there's no plan, like you kind of set yourself up to fail a little bit. So one of the big things I see with clients when they don't have a plan with food is one, you're way more likely to make poor food choices, right? So if you get home from work late, or that's because I'm a fossil. Liz, you're not a fossil. Facebook's actually easier to type into. So a lot of people preference Facebook Lives because you can type rather than having to like text things in. So you're not a fossil, it's all good. Hey, I don't know if TikTok does live, but maybe that's the next step. So yeah, you're more likely to, if you don't have a plan, you're more likely to make a poorer choice in terms of food. So if you've got less time and you're not organised, then you might be running to the shops to grab something on the way home, and you're more likely to pick something that's super quick and super easy and not necessarily focus on health. And the other thing is you could also just grab takeaway or restaurant or have somebody do that for you because you haven't put the thought and the effort and the time into pre-planning. So I think food choice wise, if you haven't got a plan, you're less likely to make a good choice. And like hands up if you've done that. Like if you are tired or stressed or hungry now, then you're more likely to make a choice that's just super easy. Doesn't matter like about the overall balance of the meal or the health of it or things like that. Hello, Taylor D. No coffee. I've had a coffee. I'm trying to Feed Your Future. I'm trying to get back to 1 coffee a day. It was getting to 2 a day regularly there for a while, trying to get the weekly menu planner out. So I'm back to 1, but I've got my soda water to entertain me. So yeah, I think I'm beyond my needed 2 coffee a day today. But join me Friday for Coffee and Questions at 8 a.m. and I'll have a coffee with you. Jonesy said shift work can totally play havoc with healthy eating, unfortunately. Yes, even more important with shift workers, Jonesy, to have a plan. So I've seen a lot of shift workers and it takes a bit longer to get the plan sort of set up to figure out what's going to work for you. But once you've got a plan and you've nailed it, like it's smooth sailing. I've got a few paramedic clients that are like really their shifts are all over the place. Every week's different. It's constantly on a rotating roster and they never know what they're doing. And then there's lots of overnight work as well. So, well, one, you have with lack of sleep, you have increased hunger hormones that make you hungrier. And when you're tired, you crave more sweet foods, and we know why that happens. I'm actually posting an article about that this week, I think, or maybe next week. But it's just about having a plan, Jonesy. So yeah, if your schedule's all over the shop, then you need to just kind of look ahead to the week ahead or the fortnight ahead or whatever you get thrown at you, and just map out a bit of a plan. Hello, Triathlon Queensland. Who have we got? Oh, I just flipped my camera. That's not going to be helpful. There we go. Struggling. I'll have to send you my MacGyver setup today. I've got my phone attached to the computer today, and we'll see if that works. Triathlon Queensland, hello. So I keep flipping it because it's a spy belt. It's quite thick and it's covering half the screen. So I have to keep flipping it over to see what the comments and who's jumping on. All right, yeah, so definitely shift work, you definitely need a plan, and it's just about figuring out what your plan and your schedule looks like and planning ahead, really. So when we don't have a plan, well, number one, we're more likely to make not a great choice, right? We're not likely to make a choice that is going to get us to our goals faster, or is necessarily a healthy choice. We love a crafty what's WFH? Okay, I feel like a fossil. Work from home setup? Yes, that's what it is. Yep, work from home setup with my spy belt. I'll definitely post a photo because my photo yesterday of my MacGyver setup went bonza, so I might end up on the feed. Hello, Robson. Hey, Liz, you're not the only fossil on Facebook. Robson's also on Facebook. All right, so more likely to make a bad choice. The other thing that you're more likely to do when you haven't got a plan is you're more likely to overspend. So if you're on a tight budget, all of us are trying to kind of save it and squeeze pennies at the moment. If you don't have a plan, you're more likely to overspend on food. You're more likely to grab takeaway more often, or you're more likely to just make choices out of a rush rather than actually thinking about what's in your budget and having a plan for that. So one of the big benefits of actually menu planning and meal planning weekly is that you go and shop once and then you spend what you spend, and you can stick within that budget if you like, and then that's it. You don't need to run back and forth to the shops anymore. So it's a really good way to save money and not overspend by having a plan and just sticking to that. And you can set your weekly budget. It can have a little bit of flexibility. I guess I'm a dietitian and I prioritize health and food. So my food budget might look a little bit different to yours because for me, that's like number one. But I prefer to skimp on other things. And like Carly were talking about the other day, like I do not pay for parking. I would rather walk 5 kilometers than pay for parking. So, I also don't really buy clothes, heaps of I definitely don't online shop because I'd rather spend my money on health and exercise and food than buying like shoes and handbags. I'm also a bit of a tomboy. Not that I look like a tomboy, but yeah, much rather be out being dirty than going shopping. I'd spend hours grocery shopping and reading labels and stuff, but there's no way you catch me shopping. All right, so we're more likely to make bad choices if we don't have a plan. We're more likely to overspend. And the other big factor, which is important to me, and may not be as important to you, is that you waste a lot more food when you don't have a plan and you're kind of doing things on the fly. So like we have a compost bin and we've got dogs, so not a lot of food gets wasted at all. Like our bin at the end of the week is tiny. And that's also because we shop once a week and everything's planned and we use like our fridge starts heaving. I should actually put a photo up of our fridge when we do the shop. It's like crammed. Like I've got mad skills in Tetrising the fridge to fit everything in. And then literally by Friday, because we shop again on Saturday, everything's gone. Like the fridge is empty again. There's nothing wasted. Everything gets used. And that's because we've written specifically like for the recipes, exactly what you need and used up what we need. Hello, try it, chick. So I think they're the 3 main key points if you don't have a plan when it comes to food. So has anybody got any other ideas or like things that they have noticed if they don't have a plan? So just to recap, like we're more likely to make a bad choice or a poor choice, one that's not going to get us to our goals as quickly. 2, we're more likely to overspend. And 3, we're more likely to waste food. Has anybody else got anything they want to add to that? Hello, I can't pronounce your name, sorry. Hey there, try it, chick. Where are you from? All right, nobody's got anything for me? Did I nail it with my 3? Liz, you got anything for me when you don't have a plan? Eating, so Triathlon Queensland, good one. I'd love to know who you are, Triathlon Queensland, behind these. Who have I got? So Triathlon Queensland have said eating the same things, not trying anything new. 100%. So you just go to your quick grab from the supermarket, because you know that you can do it and it's quick and it's easy. So that's, yeah, definitely, I'll add that to the list. So variety is the word there, lack of variety. And I guess the other thing, like we've kind of touched on it, I don't know if it needs its own point, but like if you've got goals around body composition or food or health or performance or whatever it is, if you haven't got a plan and you're following that consistently, like if you don't have that consistency, it's going to be way harder to reach your goals. And you'll get there eventually, but it's probably the slow track. And we want to fast track things, right? Everyone wants things yesterday. Everyone wants things now. So if you've got any sort of specific goals, then it's obviously going to take longer for you to get there. Jonesy, agree. I eat the same thing and more likely to overeat if no plan. Yeah, 100%. Hey, Erica. Yeah, so I think like there's people that froth on planning, right? Like there's books on planning and organization, and there's people that are just like super good at it and they get excited by planning. And then there's people that just like suck at planning. Like I know athletes, elite athletes that don't have a diary. Okay. And some of the strategies that I try and implement is that they have a plan and they're organized and they're thinking ahead and they have a calendar and they have a diary and they know what's coming up and what appointments they've got coming up, and just trying to teach them how to eat to support training with a plan. So they know they've got a hard session in the evening. They're going to need to plan ahead and have dinner ready for when they get home. Like the worst thing for them to do is to have to then go to the shops after training, think about what they're going to eat, and then cook and then have dinner. So they've completely delayed their recovery nutrition after a really key hard session. Well, we're trying to make it a performance game, right? Like we're trying to get fitter and faster. So we want to support that with food. And if you've done a really disorganized job of planning your food around that, then you're obviously going to sort of miss the mark a little bit in terms of recovery. And then you've got to back up the next day and train really hard again because you're an elite athlete and you do like 3 or 4 sessions a day and you're already on the back foot. And so you compound that over the week and it's just this big vicious circle and you end up in a hole. Hello, Dexy. Hey, Kel. I love that everyone's online at 10 a.m. midweek. Like I never would have thought that this would be a thing. But I think everyone's working from home and can jump on lives while, you know, multitasking and working away, which is so good. Hey, Master Meals. All right, so any other tips or strategies? So Jonesy said lack of variety, definitely, and more likely to overeat, which we've got. So I've probably got 5 things on that list now, which is good. So just to recap for those of you that are just joining, we've got like the why you need a plan. So things that when you don't have a plan, you make poor choices. And like Jonesy said, more likely to overeat, overspend, waste food. It's harder to reach your goals. And there's lack of variety with food and food choices. So I think that's a really good list. If anybody else has got anything, let me know. So then the flip side of that is having a plan, right? So all the positive things about having a plan is just the opposite of that. So you're more likely to make a healthy choice because you don't have to think about it. Oh, what have we got here? Try It Chick says, my partner works away, so I've been buying prepared healthy meals delivered to home. Perfect. Hey, Chris Eldorado. Yeah, cooking for one, Try It Chick is, I find so much harder. Like you've got to be a bit self-motivated, but if you've got a plan to follow or something that turns up to your door and you just have to do it, then you're more likely to do it and keeps you on track. So all those strategies are really good to try and get you to manage eating well, even when like things go chaotic. Hey, Registered Foodie, all these people on Insta, it's amazing. All right, so the flip side of having a plan, you're going to make a better choice, right? You're going to make a choice away from the shops that is a healthy option. And you're going to think about that and do your planning, or go and do your shopping when you're not hungry, you're not starving, and you're not in a bad mood, so that you are making a choice and you're planning your week ahead in terms of nutrition, just like you would with work or exercise or whatever sort of training or schedule you stick to. So one of the key things that I've implemented in life that I found really beneficial is having a plan that I do on the weekend, like say a Sunday night for Monday. So I'm not turning up on Monday morning going, oh shit, what am I meant to be doing this week? Like I can turn up on Monday morning and know exactly what I'm doing. And every day I've got a to-do list. So I'm not being reactive to things. It's always proactive, and that just makes you get shit done way easier. Hey, Des Goodner Coaching and Arod on Insta. All right, so more likely to make a better choice. You're more likely to stick to budget. So if you've got a plan, one of the key strategies to sticking to, like, one of the key things to sticking to a budget is having a plan, because then you're only buying what you need. You're not buying all this random shit that you might use, or things that you might cook with that you don't end up cooking with, and then they go off and then we're wasting food. You're more likely to buy exactly what you need, the only ingredients that you need, and then you're less likely to overspend there. So it's a really easy way to stick with the budget, if you do have a plan. And then again, so you're less likely to waste food, which was point 3 earlier, because you've bought exactly what you need, and that's it, nothing more, nothing less. If you're buying, like the way that I set my meal plans up, my menu plans up, is that the fresh meats and stuff are the start of the week, so that you don't have to put them in the freezer or anything. And then we transition towards the back end of the week with more sort of throw in the freezer type options. So things like mince or chicken breast, where it doesn't matter so much as if it goes in the freezer and you pull it out. Whereas for me, I don't find that having like things like frozen fish tastes that great. So I'd rather eat that fresh and eat that first at the start of the week, and then transition to things that can go in the freezer towards the back end of the week. And that means that nothing goes off and nothing gets wasted. And it also means that you only shop once too. So you're not wasting time going back and forth to the supermarket all the time. Now, I think at the moment it's really key that we're kind of only shopping once a week as well. Like we need to minimize the time away from the shops, and we shouldn't be ducking back and forths like frequently. We want to do that less and less and less. So in terms of social isolation, or like for those of you that may potentially even be in lockdown, like you can go and get essentials, but that's it. And so you want to be minimizing your contact with others. So Registered Foodie asks, what are your thoughts on meal subscriptions like Blue Apron and HelloFresh? So I actually haven't heard of Blue Apron. Is that one new, or is that one not in Australia? And HelloFresh. So HelloFresh has been around for a long time. I was first introduced to it when I lived in the UK before it even came to Australia. And I think the concept is amazing. Like it's so good because it helps people to cook that don't usually cook. It is like basically what I'm talking about. It's a plan. So you get your recipe card and you get all your box of ingredients, and you just cook exactly what's on there. So nothing's wasted. A couple of downsides that I find to things like HelloFresh and Marley Spoon is that everything's quite packaged. So you might get this tiny little thing of spice that's in a plastic container that you then have to throw away. So for me, like waste of packaging and stuff is quite high. And the only other thing, American, I think. Blue Apron, kind of old. Is it American? Yeah. I'm in my little Australia bubble down here, so I'm not sure. I don't think I've heard of it here, but that doesn't mean too much. So yeah, one downside for me is packaging. There's a lot of like individually packaged stuff, which just grates me. I'm a bit of a crazy hippie like that. I believe so. I'm in the US. Where are you from, Registered Foodie? And the other thing with HelloFresh is that it's not particularly balanced all the time. Okay, so some meals I find are like a protein source with salads and things like that. So there's maybe not enough carbs. And then there's other meals that are just all carbs. Like it's just a rice-based dish or it's a pasta-based dish. So I find that the balance with those meal boxes is sometimes lacking. So it's just about trying to find the balance with those meals, and I guess having some skills to adapt what's there to fit your needs as well. So it's definitely not a one size fits all. Like it is, yeah, it's quite general. And I think it's excellent to help people start cooking that have no idea how to cook. So I know that they're probably going nuts at the moment because people have found themselves at home cooking more, that don't usually cook and don't know how to cook. And so they're like, oh, well, we'll just subscribe to this thing and then they'll send me the food and all I have to do is follow it. So it's perfect for that. But it's just, I guess, my dietitian mindset's like, well, that one is really heavy carbs, so why don't we put that on a heavier training night? Whereas this one's got absolutely no carbs, so we need to put that on more like a rest day. So it's just having the skills to be able to adapt what they send you. And probably I would also suggest adding more salad and veggies to it, if that's something that you could do. And you could easily do that by getting like those steamer bags of frozen veggies, or the pre-bagged salad mixes and things like that, to bump up the nutrients of those dishes. So yeah, it's just finding that balance. Like I always think dietitian, my dietitian mind's always like, is this going to help somebody, one, be healthy, like reach their goals? Like totally. If you're used to eating takeaway all the time, it's definitely better to do home cooking. But it's just, I guess, taking it one step further than that and actually making sure that it's meeting what your needs are. Washington State, welcome. There's all these people here from America. And so Registered Foodie just said, definitely agree with all the points you made, thanks. Any other tips that you've got for me, or any other any other things that you've thought of, Registered Foodie, that around those meal delivery sort of services? I guess the same sort of thing would be YouFoods. YouFoods is not a home cook thing. It's like literally a container that comes to your house, but it's fresh, which is good. So it's like ready meals, but fresh meals. And they would be the same as well. So I've had a few people that have used those as a like a lunch meal, and it's just about balancing out what is there and picking off the menu for stuff that meets your goals as well. So yeah, it's just a little bit of extra layer and thought around that I would put into place as a dietitian. All right, so we got so off track there. How did we got onto those ready meal things? So we're talking about the perks of having a plan, the benefits of having a plan. And yeah, just that it was opposite to what we said before, really, is it's more likely to be healthier, you're less likely to overspend, less food waste, and you're going to reach your goals faster. And then you can also plan that variety. So I was talking about how I plan the meats and the fresh meats earlier in the week in my weekly menu plan, and then we go to more like freezer sort of options, so you're only shopping once. And then I guess the other, like in terms of the weekly menu plan, so we're talking about things that are generic and how I would adapt them. So the weekly menu plan service that I've put together is definitely a general service, right? It's impossible to have things like that that are highly specific to your needs. So one of my clients really wants to do it, but she's like, I need less carbs here and I need more carbs there. And because I'm a dietitian and I've developed it, I teach you how to do that. So it's just trying to be able to adapt what's on there. So it's giving you the whole variety of meats. Everything's really balanced. Like you've got a balance of carbs, you've got a balance of protein and a variety of protein sources as well. And then we've got heaps of fresh salad and veggies, which I think is really key. So all of the meals are balanced. Every recipe in the menu plan is part of the Dietitian Approved Recipe database. And so that's been developed by me. Like I'm an accredited practicing dietitian. I'm not just some random like food blogger. I've done 6 years of study in nutrition, and I'm also an advanced sports dietitian. I've worked at the AIS, our Australian Institute of Sport, and I also work for Triathlon Australia and look after our triathlon, Australian triathlon team. So like I'm not just some random idiot on the internet. I probably come across like that, but you know, like I come from an evidence-based background. And so everything that I do, like that should be sprinkled and the flavor in that. So there's no meals in there that are unbalanced, that don't have any carbs, or I've got meals in the carb loading section of the database, which is specifically for carb loading. So otherwise everything's really well balanced. So we're making sure, hello Eliza, hello Evan Eats. There's all these dietitians on here. Hello and welcome. Yeah, so in terms of the recipe database, every meal has got enough protein in there to make sure that we're ticking our recovery boxes. And then if you're an exerciser, or even if you're not an exerciser, we want to make sure that we drip feed protein across the day. So every meal has got enough. It's got like the minimum of 20 to 30 grams. I shouldn't drink bubbly water while we do lives. This is a bad idea. So regularly drip feeding protein. So all of the meals in the database have that. Okay, so there's not going to be meals that you're going to have to go find an extra bit of protein to add to it. And then all the snacks are quite well balanced as well. Now, the carbohydrate is the hardest thing to get right for people because everyone's carbohydrate needs are so different. So I always set sort of a base level, and then you've got the ability to scale up or scale down from that as well. So that's something that I can teach you if you want to do the weekly menu planning, is how to do that, how to adapt things specifically for your needs. We just need to get on the phone and talk about who you are and what you need and what your goals are. Hello, Try It Chick. What are you laughing at? Me being a spaz? Hello, Rach. Shouldn't you be at work, Rach? 10:35. Maybe it's little lunch, small break, whatever it's called these days at school. Yeah, so carbs are scalable, and I think that's really important. And I think it's also important for you to have an understanding of what your carbohydrate needs are and be able to adapt them across the week. So you shouldn't be eating the same thing every day unless you're training the same every day. You need to be scaling and periodizing that to suit your training load. Oh, Smiley Rach, school holidays. Oh, yes. That's good. Obviously, bubbly drinks. You're laughing at me with bubbly drinks. Yeah, I need to not drink soda water while I film myself. Silly. All right, so all the recipes have got good amount of protein. We're talking about scalable carbs, and so you've got the ability to do that. You just need to know where carbs come from, and then you can increase or decrease those depending on what your needs are. The other thing that all the recipes have is healthy fats. So we definitely don't need to focus on eating any more saturated fats, sorry. So all of the animal meats, the fat in dairy, then all of our junk foods, so deep fried foods, chocolate, ice cream, all of those delicious things. We don't need any more of that. We get enough of that. We need to focus on getting the good monounsaturated fats in, and that's things like your avocado, your olive oil, nuts and seeds. So I'm not afraid to use healthy fats, and even somebody that's trying to really actively lose fat, you still need adequate fat in your diet, and that's really important. So I'm not afraid to use them, and all the recipes include a good balance of those healthy fats as well, so that we're not afraid to use them. And if you need more, you can always add more too. So I guess that's the benefit of having a dietitian do recipes, is that they are actually formulated with some evidence behind them, and they are balanced. And with the recipe database, it is I kind of need to market it as a recipe book that never ends. It's not like going and buying a book and then that's it. You're only limited to what's in there. Every quarter I add to it, so it's constantly being updated, it's constantly evolving, and so it's like a gift that keeps giving. So it's an annual subscription because of that, but every quarter more recipes go in. So I've just recently added 11 more, mostly mains, but a couple of snacks, and my 2:1 glucose to fructose bike bars are in there. But it's ever evolving and it's ever updating, so it's a cool little resource that you'll always have. Hello everyone that's jumping on. Hello. So the other thing with having a menu plan, I think, is that, well, one, somebody else has done it for you, but it's literally done for you. So all you have to do, I don't even have one here with me currently, it's downstairs from cooking last night, but I give you the meals that you're eating for the week, and then you get the recipe as well to follow. So I'm not just giving you ideas of what you should eat and then saying, go and figure it out. It's like, here's what you're eating, Here's the recipe. Now here's your shopping list that goes with it to go and get everything you need specifically for those dinners across the week. Okay, so we're not wasting food by like thinking you'll cook something and then you don't. And we're also not wasting, like we're not wasting and we're not overspending. So a big part about having a plan is that you've got that structure. So Registered Foodie said, more cooking at this time, please. Oh, at 10 a.m. Oh, I don't know about that. I caught you prepping at midnight last night, my time, couldn't stay awake. Sorry, buddy. 10 a.m. So it's 10 a.m. here in Brisbane. I don't know what we could maybe cook at 10 a.m. We'll see. It's like it's not even snack o'clock here. What are you laughing at, Carly? I'll think about it. If you jump on live coffee and questions on Friday, Registered Foodie, hit me up again and remind me, and I'll think about doing some cooking at 10 a.m. for you. Just thought I'd try. Yeah. Hey, if you keep trying, I may do it. I'm pretty moldable. I'm pretty open to like doing new things. So keep trying. What was I going to say? So distracted. So good. Registered Foodie, what's your name? Who am I talking to? All right, cooking at 10 a.m. All right, I'll work on it. The seed has been planted, okay? But join me 8 a.m. Friday, my time, Brisbane time, and we can have a coffee together. How's that? How's that to ease into cooking together? I was going to say, you could always watch the replay, right, at a time that suits you. So grab some ingredients and cook along with me. It's always a bit of fun. All right, so back to having a plan, right? So I've literally, hello Art. I've literally given you everything, right? So you don't have to think about it. Like I was explaining to somebody the other day and they were like, oh, I thought it was like a system or a template. And I'm like, no, like it's an actual plan. Like here's your plan. Like go to the shops with your plan. So I might need to call it something differently. And the way that it's set up is that it's designed for 2 people. So I've got a couple of people doing it that are only 1. And you know what, for them, the added bonus is that they get their lunches made as well. So they're cooking for 2 at dinner and then the leftovers they get for lunch. So that all they literally have to do is get something for breakfast and snacks if they want to eat snacks. So even easier if you're 1. If you're 2, I always plan leftovers on one night or maybe 2 nights a week because I don't feel like you should be slaving away for hours in the kitchen cooking dinner. I'm a really sort of quick chef. I wouldn't even call myself a chef. I'm sort of self-taught, but I know how to adapt recipes to get like the best health bang out of them and how to get performance gains out of them too, because I'm a sports dietitian. So it's super easy. It's super simple. You don't have to think about it. And I think at this time, everyone's cooking at home more. And so if cooking for you, like if you're just shit at it or you don't like it, then you need some help in that space. Like don't kind of fumble around trying to figure it out for yourself. Just like, you pay a personal trainer to be your coach or a business coach or whatever. Like I am your food coach. So I've given you the structure and the plan, and all you have to do is go and do the shopping once a week, get it out of there as fast as you can, wash your hands when you come home, burn your clothes, and then cook. And I promise you won't be in the kitchen for like any more than half an hour in the week. Sometimes we might do a lasagna or something, but I always plan that on the weekends where you've got a few extra hours up your sleeve that you could chuck a lasagna mince on the stove and leave it for a couple of hours to sort of reduce down and develop all those nice flavors while you go and do something else. So yeah, definitely not I wouldn't say I'm a complicated cook or chef or whatever you want to call me. I'm about easy, quick, healthy and performance, because like as athletes, like cooking with athletes, they don't have time to slave away in the kitchen making anything crazy for hours and hours and It's really important that they're in and out as quickly as possible, and they're sitting down and they're resting and they're recovering. Like, their job is not to stand up slaving away in the kitchen for hours cooking. You need to be able to make healthy food and quickly. So all of my recipes are designed around that. So it's a massive time saver. And I think at a small investment, like the amount of time that you can save, like I'm a big believer in outsourcing shit that you don't need to do. Because my time is so valuable and it's so limited. So I want to be doing things with my time that maximize my brain power and my resources, rather than wasting time doing like mindless stuff that somebody else could do for a fraction of the price, right? So that's my mentality. You definitely don't start like that. Amy just said, I didn't even know you're on there, Amy. Hello. I don't know why your audio keeps cutting out. It's probably just because Dropbox is syncing and the internet is crap, because everyone's at home now. There's thought that the NBN is going to crash because everyone's working from home. So hopefully that's fixed it. I've just paused my Dropbox. And hello, Ames. Welcome. You stealth little bomber sitting over there by yourself. Somebody talk to me on Facebook. You guys are all there, but nobody's talking. Insta's going off. Oh, Try Chicks is on Insta. Yes. Hello, Ames. All right, so let's just recap. If anybody's got any other sort of tips or strategies or suggestions. Yo, hey, Ames. Any other tips or strategies or suggestions, or you just want to like general banter because you're sick of isolation, let me know. I'm going to jump on tomorrow at 10 a.m. and do the same sort of thing. We're going to have a bit of a chat. And hopefully, like, I don't know about you, but I'm way happier than I was before, just being able to talk to you guys. I'm starting to go a bit cray-cray over here, let's be honest. So 10 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to do the same thing. And then join me on Friday morning at 8 a.m. and we're going to have a coffee together and do coffee and questions. So you can submit any of your sports nutrition related questions and I'll answer them for you for free. All right, so quick recap. So why you need a plan. We came up with, we've got 5. I had 3, I had 4, and now we've got 5. So thank you, Triathlon Queensland, for providing the 5th one. So you definitely need a plan because you're going to make a poorer choice and not make a healthier choice if you don't have a plan. You're more likely to overspend and not stick to a budget because you are just like doing things on the fly, more likely to eat out and order takeaway. You're more likely to waste food as well and not use what you've bought because you haven't planned it out properly. It's going to be harder and slower to reach your goals. And thank you, Triathlon Queensland, for the last one, which Jonesy backed up. And that is that the variety is going to be reduced because you're just going to like pick and choose whatever you're kind of happy with and comfortable with and you've done before. And it's quick and easy rather than like actually making choices for variety and health, like making sure you get a good variety of meats and things like that. So the benefit of having a plan, and we talked in the very beginning about having a plan that is done by somebody else because you're more likely to stick to it. You're more likely to, just like you have a coach, right, that writes your training plan in Training Peaks or wherever you have it, you're more likely to stick to it if somebody else has said it. And Training Peaks is amazing because it's designed around our psyches, in that for you to get the week complete, it all goes green. So you tick a session off and it goes green, and if you don't do it, it's red. Or if you don't do it properly, it's orange. And so like mentally we're like, oh man, I didn't do that properly, and all you want to do is make your next week green. So I'm basically your food coach in that sense. I've given you the plan, you just have to follow it. You get to make it green. Oh, Catherine, hello, you're late to the party, we're doing a wrap up. Yeah, so it's kind of like, I'm kind of like your food coach. I've given you the plan, you just have to follow it. So the benefits of having a plan is that it's literally everything you need. There's recipes, the plan, and the shopping list. You don't have to think about it. It's a massive time saver. So you get at least 2 hours back in your week. Like, you're not wasting time flicking through recipe books, trying to look for inspiration, trying to get that variety. I've done that for you, and I've also planned it so that you're only shopping once a week, so you're not wasting time running back and forth to the supermarket as well. Catherine says, I need more notice when you're going live. Hey, I prepped you up on Monday. It's 10 a.m. today, 10 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to do coffee and questions at 8 a.m. on Friday. Even though it's a public holiday, because, you know, ISO life and I need to talk to people, and why not? Like, who cares? Nobody's doing anything. Nobody's going away. Everyone's going to be sitting at home. So let's chat. All right, so the other benefits is that it's easy, it's simple, it's not complicated. Like, you're taking stress and effort out of your life in a time where you can focus on other things that are important for you, and you don't have to make any decisions. The only decision you need to make is what you want to get yourself for breakfast. That's it. And maybe snacks if you want snacks. But there's the potential for you to even have your lunches done for you because there's leftovers for lunches. So I'm obviously a big advocate for a plan, and I had heaps of people contact me wanting plans. So I've busted my balls. I've increased my coffee intake to 2 a day instead of 1 over the last couple of weeks to get this done for you. So I really hope you find it useful, and it actually helps you to reach your goals and focus on health, which I think is so important at the moment. And give all of those people that have suddenly lumped with the task of having to cook at home now some structure and dietitian approved plans to actually follow for that without having to then try and wing it or figure out how to do it on your own. Like, you just literally, just like HelloFresh turns up to your door, the plan turns up, you download it. All you have to do is go to the shops once a week and then do the cooking for you. I've got the recipe template there for you. You just follow it. You'll have all the ingredients. You're more likely to stick to a budget. Like, it's just a win-win. All right, you got any tips there for me, Catherine, before we sign out? You're late to the party. I'll have to 10 a.m. tomorrow, Catherine. Get someone to mind the kids for you. And I'm not going to do bubbly water tomorrow because that was a bad idea. As I drink more bubbly water. Hello, Megan. You're also late to the party. We're about to wrap up, but thanks for joining. All right, guys, if nobody's got any other things they want to add to that list, benefits, positives, negatives, I'm on it. Does Netflix count as a babysitter? Yes, it does. So for those of you that have just joined me, I'm going to send a photo of my MacGyver setup today as well. It's not as good as last night's MacGyver setup, but I've basically got my running spy belt looped around the computer to prop my phone here next to the computer webcam thing to try and, so that I don't have to look in 2 places. And it's, well, I still am looking in 2 places, but I'm basically MacGyver. I'm not really, but I'll post a photo up of this because it's gold. All right. If nobody else has got any more chat, we might wrap it up for today, and I'll see you at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Okay, everyone, put it in your diary. 10 a.m. Brisbane time, which is Australian Eastern Standard Time. We're all in the same time zone now, which is cool, over on the east coast of Aussie land. But good to see all these Americans online. And Art, I will think about doing some cooking at 10 a.m. just for you. I'll write it down. The seed is planted, and we'll see how we go. But yeah, for your American guys, I'll look at doing, not promising, some cooking at 10 a.m. But you've always got the replays, so they're on my Instagram TV. And if, like, they're a bit of a schmozzle, but if you really like them, I can throw them up on our YouTube channel too, so you can watch them forever. Carly said, I will make sure I get my coffee before 10 a.m. tomorrow. Yes, you can drink coffee with me while I drink my water. Aiming for 1 coffee again tomorrow. And Try It Chick said, thanks heaps. You're welcome. Thanks for joining. I should make a morning tea, Catherine says. Yeah, I'm up at 5, so morning tea for me is like 9 or 9:30. So 10 a.m. is like productivity o'clock. Hence my water. Somebody asked me where my coffee was, but it's not coffee in question, so I'm off the hook. All right, guys, thanks so much for jumping on live. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. What did Carly say? I haven't had one yet today. Carly, what is wrong with you? Get amongst that. I think I had my coffee this morning at 5:30 a.m. Yep. Struggle is real, but it was in peace. So that's all that matters. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. I hope everyone's feeling a little bit more connected and less isolated and happier after jumping on together. Feel free to throw lots of banter and chat this direction. And if you want to whinge or talk about anything, I'm open for it. I'm going a bit cray-cray here at home. Starting to lose my shit quite quickly. So feel free to like shout anything out. It's all good. All right, Jonesy, thanks for joining. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then Catherine said, who even am I? I'm letting the ball drop. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 10. Thank you so much for jumping on. It's been fun. See you.